Hi and welcome to the Yorkie. I'm Lara.
And I'm Adam Walsh.
We're down at Spark today, ready to enjoy the sunshine, and we've got stories coming up on the importance of mental health and Coeliac Awareness Month.
Not to mention a special guest from the staff here at Spark who will be joining us shortly. Now, earlier this week I went up to the Lowmore allotments to see how growing your own vegetables can impact your happiness and lower your carbon footprint. With the greatest challenge facing the world today being that of climate change, and massive figures such as Greta Thunberg and David Attenborough spearheading the movement for drastic change across the globe, I wanted to find out what students and young people who don't necessarily have the funds to make big changes were doing to contribute to that movement. I'm here today at the Lowmore allotments in York with Felicity and Nick. I'm speaking to Felicity here, and I'd like to know what you think you've gained from gardening and what you've gained from growing your own food.
Well, just having your own fresh food is the most liberating, exciting thing you can do. And obviously, in terms of the eco-friendly aspects of these things, one thing I always say when people are asking us about how we came to have an allotment when we're both so young, is that we were actually planning on growing our own food long before we came into having an allotment.
So would you say that starting tiny, did that save you any money, like food-wise?
Oh yeah, like we're still at the beginning of the growing season in that we haven't yet come into eating any of the things that we've planted, but we are already aware that we're going to have plenty of food for a very long time.
I'm here today with Molly at the York St John campus to find out what things she's been doing to lower her carbon footprint. So Molly, what changes have you made to make your life more eco-friendly?
So I started to make a few changes within my life to make sure I'm a lot more eco-friendly. So the first thing I tend to do is buy a reusable cutlery set, which also includes a straw. So that means that when I'm eating out at places or I bring my own lunch, I'm not having to use plastic knife and fork or plastic straws, which reduces the waste that I'm producing. And the second thing I tend to do is obviously I do tend to buy a lot of beauty products. So I've tried to source out things which are package free and also plastic reduced. So therefore I have things like shampoo bars.
It was great to see the changes that young people could make to their lives to become more eco-friendly without spending much money or drastically changing their environment. But really the change needs to be made across society and by government to see any improvement in the battle against climate change.
Now we're going to speak to Sam Leach, a director here at Spark, about what local businesses are doing to be more eco-friendly.
Hi Sam. So with current concerns about the climate, well, local businesses have become increasingly important to me to get like local produce and stuff that doesn't have much air miles. What efforts are you making here at Spark to be more sustainable?
Yeah, so I think originally, there was a big impetus at the start of the project and continues to be to source the materials of the project through sustainable and recycled means. So all the shipping containers are recycled. Most of them have had 3 or 4 year journeys around the world, most likely. But everything from what we're using here, we try and recycle from chairs and other things that we use to try and reduce our consumption, but also to promote more sustainable ways in which we're showing that this is a temporary development, and therefore I don't think it needs to necessarily, where it can avoid to do so, generate any new waste at all. So there's on one level there's the structural side of it. Yeah. There's then from a waste point of view, for us all of our energy all of our waste is recycled in many forms. So we have most is all packaging that businesses have to have is plastic free, all of which has to either be fully recyclable or biodegradable. And in terms of our waste facilities with your waste, anything that is given, if you like, as general waste is used as energy elsewhere, so none of it ends in landfill. So on one level we say to our businesses, what are you doing to be sustainable, to use local supply chains, one, to economically benefit the city and local suppliers, but also to reduce, as you say, air miles, traffic for getting produce here. So it's trying to see it overall really, and try and just show that businesses in this day and age can be sustainable. They can recycle, they can promote things, and we're very keen to be a microcosm of a business that is serious about the climate and trying to, be carbon neutral and support and the environment and what we do here.
Yeah. So do you try to prioritise businesses that have that eco-friendly focus and try like selling second-hand clothes, providing recycling packaging, which you say you reinforce? Is that like a real priority for you guys?
Definitely. And it's even, it's a regulation within the contracts that our businesses have here. They've got to work towards or evidence working towards zero waste both in the products they sell and the packaging in which they get their products or they recycle those products. So it's something that's critical to their performance here, both in being selected, and it's a question that we'll ask new applicants or prospective tenants is, you know, what's your position on reducing waste and being zero waste as a business? And it's something that they have to adhere to. If they decided that they weren't playing ball in that area, then they would be in breach of their contract here. So we try and embed it within their own day-to-day performance, that they need to be serious about the issues of the climate, if you like.
Yeah.
And just like a community project, do you try to sort of stick quite local with your resources?
Yeah, definitely. It's always something that we want to do in terms of both resources and businesses we use, is to support the local community. We're only here with permission until kind of summer next year, so we've only got a short duration, and we kind of took that as a point of, you know, how can we maximise businesses and business activity locally. So even beyond resources, anything from security partners, you know, window fitters, electricians, all of which are local businesses, but also from the business point of view here, using local farms, local suppliers for their produce as well. It's trying to use this as a return on the investment, not just for our businesses here, but local suppliers that work with them, and that's really important for us. It's if we're meant to exist for the community, which is what we say we should, then local businesses should feel the positive effect of that as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sam.
Yeah, thank you very much for speaking to us today, Sam. And now, in light of Coeliac Awareness Month, we are talking to the food stalls here at Spark to see what's on offer for people who suffer with celiac disease.
And over to you, Annabel.
Last week was Coeliac Awareness Week, and the Yorkie is here today to explore the dietary requirements among street food. 1 in 100 people are currently living with the disease, so I'm here at Spark today to see what gluten-free options they have available.
Cardamom and Dill is a Mediterranean vegetarian restaurant, and we move around the Mediterranean all the time, so every week my menu is different. This week we're in Mallorca, next week we're in Syria, the week after we're in Greece, Spain, and we just move around the whole time. And I think when people come into a vegetarian restaurant, it also attracts people with other kind of food intolerances and allergies. So it's something that people always ask. I try to keep wheat-based products out of my food, but obviously being Mediterranean, there's a lot of them in because there's a lot of grains in it. But I always try and have like 2 or 3 options that don't have any wheat in. I do sometimes gluten-free bread, but I don't get enough demand for it, ironically. Most celiacs don't like gluten-free bread. There's probably a reason for that, it just isn't very nice.
We get asked about a lot of allergies, so celiac's one of them, but we also have vegans, we have dairy-free, we have people who are soya allergic, nut allergic, so yeah, loads of allergies. We have coffee cake and stuff, which is in Spark in York, and we cater for all allergies here, and then we also have Chilling Community in Acomb, which does the same thing. So Millie Fox Cakes, which I own, bakes the cakes for both sets, so it means that we can constantly cater. And we also do beautiful bouquets of flowers for people that are gluten-free and dairy-free as well, so there you go, well, cupcake flowers, obviously. We do chocolate brownies every day that are completely vegan-free, so. Yeah, we use gluten-free flour for most things because once you learn how to bake with it, it's dead easy. It's just learning how to bake with it in the first place. All the allergy stuff is twice as expensive as the non-allergy stuff. We try and get it from our suppliers a little bit cheaper, but the problem is the supply chain's not there yet. So because everybody's suddenly gone vegan, it's a massive phase, but the infrastructure isn't there to supply it down yet. So yeah, it does cost a lot more.
So there's cleaning and awareness for celiac disease in Spark York. It's open Tuesday to Saturday with plenty of gluten-free options, so come on down.
I'm Harry McCormack, I'm at Spark York today, and I'm currently stood outside Arty Farty, a place where you can come, draw, create, and just have a good time throughout the day. It's free of charge, but all donations are welcome. I'm going to go inside and talk to Mary and see if I can create a masterpiece myself. First of all, what is Drawsome?
Well, we have got Drawsomes because everybody's pictures are awesome. Ta-da! So Sydney, she did with a group of people. This is a 2-minute draw in the lion, followed up by a 5-minute. The idea being that don't stay at home, come and draw. We've got loads of funky bars and cafes and things here. Get a drink, come in, have some company and be together. But more importantly, our company is a CIC, we're Arty Farty. People like that word. And the idea is that not everybody can afford to come and access the arts and enjoy themselves and use lots of nice equipment. They can come in here and they can just pay as they feel, join in, have a laugh, have a joke, or get really creative with support from artists. It's a good deal.
How do you think it's impacted the community?
Absolutely. We've already had one lady in particular that comes in. They don't know anybody in the area. She's foreign. She's Argentinian. A little girl speaks 3 languages. And they come here and they play and they do art and built dens in front of the bar, yes, on Sunday.
So what kind of things do you draw or make with the people that come in?
Whatever they want. It's not for us to direct what people want to do. We put out the equipment and we've got lots of other stuff on the side. So if you want to come and have a go at painting, we'll trail some paint out for you. If you want to have a go at sketching, you can have that. If you're any good with charcoal, you can do this.
So why do you think it's important for people that come here?
So my background as a community artist is mainly in 2 fields. Mental health, and that goes with learning disability as well. So mental health and conflict resolution. So if you've got people in communities that are just not blending together, it sounds so silly, but you bring them in and give them a bit of charcoal and a bit of paper, and before you know where they are, they're sitting and they're talking and they're sharing a cup of tea, and it's, can I borrow the red? Have you got any blue? And suddenly they're talking to each other, and they might only say, do you know what? She's all right. It's a beginning of acceptance, and you've got a drip effect.
So you've mentioned the 2-minute drawing of the lion.
Ta-da!
Do you mind if I have a go?
Yeah, you didn't think I did that, did you? Yeah, you can have a go. I'll get you.
I think it came out alright. What do you think? Why not come down to Spark yourself and see if you can do better than me, Harry McCormack, the Yorkie.
So it sounds like Spark's got it all figured out, but we need some more awareness surrounding celiac disease, don't we?
Yeah, I think if there was more widespread attention, then there'd be more gluten-free items appearing on the high street.
And I've noticed the higher price that people have to pay now for being gluten-free is rather unfair, seeing as you don't choose it.
Yeah, it must be difficult to have to factor in those extra expenses along with dealing with your day-to-day condition. Another issue today facing people across the world is that of mental health.
Our reporter Dan Carter spoke to Lynn Gabriel, who set up a counselling and mental health clinic for all of North Yorkshire.
The York St John lecturer gained attention for her work when it put the university in a list of the top 100 establishments making headway in mental health support.
Following York St John University's inclusion into a top 100 universities list for services to mental health, I spoke to Professor Lynn Gabriel of York St John's Counselling and Wellbeing Clinic to discuss the history, future plans and York's dementia-friendly initiative on the horizon.
Yeah, it started as a tiny seed back in 2003, finally opened in 2016, and what we do is offer counselling and other kind of mental health services out into the community. So it's mainly York citizens, North Yorks, and I think the furthest someone travels is from Sheffield. So we get people from outside of York as well as York. We offer group work, we're developing work with children, young people, we're also developing something for elders, so right across the lifespan. And I guess I'm passionate about mental health, so when it finally opened in 2016, it was like, my goodness, this has been such a long time coming. And it actually took Karen Stanton coming to York St John to give it the final kind of, yeah, do it. So we did. And going from strength to strength, which is fantastic. One of the things we very early on wanted to do was like have a clinic bus. So our hope is that at some point, and we've started doing our projections for when we move into a new building, and 3 to 5 years ahead of that, moving into a bigger building, and that will enable income into the university for things like a community bus, so we can go out to people. So it's like having pop-up pop-up clinics, pop-up conversation buses, that kind of thing, so that he can go out to those that can't reach, because it's quite a challenge. Yes, we've got things like Skype and FaceTime, but not all practitioners use those, and not all people want to use them or have access to them. Because I think people tend to imagine that people with dementia are at home, in care homes, not seen in the community. But actually there are lots of people walking around, people in the world of work who have early stage dementia, or working in a supported way in the workplace. I think it's really important. It's a bit like mental health awareness and helping people understand that people with dementia live in our communities, and it's a bit like Asperger's, autism. If you're on a kind of a spectrum, and everyone is unique. Equally, people with dementia are unique, and the course of their dementia is unique kind of to them. Yes, you can map out broadly, but people can be in the world of work and engaging in communities.
From everyone here at the Yorkie, thanks for watching.
Have a good day. Goodbye.